Here I am with a lesson in English for 4th standard. This is the second part of the lesson. Rahul visits a tea estate. Please open your books on page 16. The second part of the lesson. Why do tea bushes have to be planted on slopes? Asked Rahul, who was surprised at the way every hill slope was covered with tea bushes. Tea needs a lot of water, but if the water stays near the roots, it rottens them. The hill slopes are ideal for the tea bushes. It rains a lot here, but the water drains away down the slope. It does not remain on the slopes. Why do tea bushes have to be planted on slopes? Asked Rahul, who was surprised at the way every hill slope was covered with tea bushes. Tea needs a lot of water, but if the water stays near the roots, it rottens them. The hill slopes are ideal for the tea bushes. It rains a lot here, but the water drains away down the slope. It does not remain on the slopes. Now Rahul was asking the other boy, Shekhar, why is it that the tea bushes are planted on the hill slopes? And the answer given to him is that tea bushes require a lot of water, but the water should not remain at the roots of the tea bush. It will start rotting. So they need a slopy area where the water will run down. They will get a lot of water, but the water does not remain at the roots. The water flows down, and that is why tea bushes are planted on mountain slopes. Next page. How lucky you are to have a tea estate. The leaves just grow by themselves, and you only have to keep plucking them and making them into tea, said Rahul, thinking of his father, who worked very hard on their large farm down in the plains. How lucky you are to have a tea estate. The leaves just grow by themselves, and you only have to keep plucking them and making them into tea, said Rahul, thinking of his father, who worked very hard on their large farm down in the plains. Now Rahul tells Shekhar that he is very lucky to have a tea estate because he just sees the tea bushes grow and then just pluck the leaves and then take them to a factory and tea leaves are manufactured. And he was wondering, his father, Rahul's father, was working so hard on a farm to make the animals, rear the animals or look after the animals and even do agriculture on their farm. So he was leading a very hard, busy life, whereas he thought living life on a tea estate was very, very easy. Oh, it's not as easy as it looks, said Shekhar. We have to look after the tea bushes very carefully. They must not get too much sunlight, and thus we have to plant some shady trees. At the same time, too much shade is bad for them. Then there are insects which attack the leaves of the bush. If we don't watch out for diseases, we will lose all the tea bushes. We have to fertilize the slopes so that the tea bushes remain healthy. We need to trim the bushes too. We have to pluck out the old tea bushes and plant new bushes in their place. Oh, it's not as easy as it looks, said Shekhar. We have to look after the tea bushes very carefully. They must not get too much sunlight, and thus we have to plant some shady trees. At the same time, too much shade is bad for them. Then there are insects which attack the leaves of the bush. If we don't watch out for diseases, we will lose all the tea bushes. We have to fertilize the slopes so that the tea bushes remain healthy. We need to trim the bushes too. We have to pluck out the old tea bushes and plant new bushes in their place. So immediately Shekhar tells Rahul that it is not a very easy job in the estate, it's a lot of work. And he says, you have to look after the tea bushes very, very carefully. They must not get too much of sunlight, and so they plant big shady trees in between. But at the same time, they should not get too little of sunlight. It should be in correct proportion. Then there are insects which attack the tea bushes, and you have to spray insecticides to kill these insects and see that these insects don't attack the tea bushes. Then there are also diseases which attack the tea bushes, and you have to fertilize. The farmer or the estate owners have to fertilize the soil, adding fertilizers and manures so that the tea bushes will grow healthy and give good crop. And the last is that tea bushes need to be trimmed. That is, they have to be cut so that they all remain at the same height. Now, if they are not trimmed and they grow to great heights, it is very difficult for these workers of the tea estate to pluck the tender leaves and put in their basket. So, it should be at a height where they are able to reach with their hands to pluck out the tender leaves and put into their basket. It all looks so easy when we are just going for a walk around the tea estate, said Rahul, who was amazed at the work needed to keep the tea bushes neat and healthy. So, it all looks so easy when we are just going for a walk around the tea estate, said Rahul, who was amazed at the work needed to keep the tea bushes neat and healthy. So Rahul was amazed and he said, when we walk around the tea estate and when you tell us that tea bushes are grown on mountain slopes where they require a lot of rain, and at the same time the rainwater should not clog at the roots, they will start to decay. It looks all very easy when said, but then it is a lot of hard work. The tea bushes are only a part of our work. The rest of the work is carried on in the tea factory. Perhaps I could show you that tomorrow, said Shekhar. So Shekhar tells Rahul, only caring for the tea bushes and plucking the tender leaves and then collecting them together and sending it to the tea factory is our job. The other half of the job is done in the factory where it is processed by chemical means and mechanical means into tea powder or tea dust or tea leaves. With this, the lesson has come to an end. Now let us get on to the exercises. Let us understand. A. Fill in the blanks. Try not to look back at the lesson. We have to look after the tea bushes very carefully. They must not get too much sunlight, and so we have to plant shady trees. Too much shade is also bad. There are insects which attack the leaves of the bush. If we don't watch out for diseases, we will lose all the tea bushes. We have to look after the tea bushes very carefully. They must not get too much sunlight, and so we have to plant shady trees. Too much shade is also bad. There are insects which attack the leaves of the bush. If we don't watch out for diseases, we will lose all the tea bushes. Next page for true and false. Write T for the true statement and F for the false statements. 1. Tea bushes need a lot of water, but the water must not remain near the roots. True. 2. Old tea bushes should be replaced with new bushes. True. 3. Tea bushes need to be protected or they will be destroyed. True. 4th one. It is very easy to look after tea estate. No, it's very difficult. 5. Rahul's father too owned a tea estate. No, he had a farm. It is false. C. Answer the following questions. 1. Where was Rahul's uncle's tea estate? It was in the Kanandev Hills in Munnar. 2. Who plucked the tea leaves? Why did they have baskets? The women plucked the tea leaves and they had baskets to put these tender leaves that they plucked into the basket. Why should all the tea bushes be kept at the same height? So that it is easy for these people to pluck the leaves and put it into their baskets. 4. Why are tea bushes planted on hill slopes? Now, tea bushes as a rule, they require a lot of water for their growth, but this water should not clog at the roots or collect at the roots, and that is why they are planted on hill slopes so that the water runs down and doesn't clog at the roots. 5. What kind of leaves make the best tea? 2 new leaves with a bud will make the best tea. 6. What sort of care do tea bushes need? Now, the tea bushes need a lot of care. First is they need a lot of shade. They need shade, but not too much of shade and not too less of shade. Sunlight. Question 6. Now, 6th question. What sort of care do tea bushes need? Now, the tea bushes are planted in such a way that there are shady trees planted in between, because the tea bushes, they do not need too much of sunlight, nor it should be too less. They just need an optimum amount of sunlight. Second, the leaves of the tea bushes should be watched out for insect attack. The insects come and attack the tea leaves, and these should be prevented. The insect attack should be prevented. The soils where the tea bushes are planted should be fertilized off and on, so that the soil keeps its fertility and the tea bushes will grow good. Tea bushes need to be trimmed also, so that they don't cross the particular height. If they grow tall, it is difficult for these tea pickers to pluck the leaves and put into their baskets. So these are different ways in which the tea bushes have to be cared for. 7. What might attack the bushes if they are not properly looked after? If the tea bushes are not looked after properly, insects might attack the tea bushes, and there will be a loss of the leaves, and as such, if one plant gets infected, the whole lot gets infected too. Next one, coming to vocabulary, farming and agriculture words. These are a set of words that are related to farming and agriculture. Let us learn some terms related to farming and agriculture. Match the words in column A with the definition in column B. Grain, grain like a grain of rice, grain of wheat. So grain goes with the seed from food crops such as wheat, rice or barley. D. 2. Harvesting. Harvesting is the activity of collecting a crop. E. Third one, plantation. Just now you read estate. A large farm where crops such as tea, coffee, cotton and sugarcane are grown. Plantation refers to an estate also. That is A. 4. Plowshare. C. The curved blade of a plow that is used in agriculture. That is C. 5. Scarecrow. Scarecrow is an object in the shape of a person that farmers put in their fields to frighten away birds. You must have seen in the paddy fields, they have a structure like that. A man, instead of a head, they have a big mud pot, and they paint it white with 2 eyes and nose, and then 2 sticks tied for the hand, 1 stick for the body and 2 for the leg. So when birds come, they think that it is a man standing in the field, but it is not a man, it is a scarecrow. Now why you have the name Scarecrow? Because it is used to scare crows and birds away. Scare means frighten away or keep away crows and birds. That is why this structure has derived the name as Scarecrow. With this, I come to the end of the homework that you have to do in the notebook. A, B and C you will do in the notebook. Now let's get on to the next part, pronunciation. Repeat after your teacher. This is a silent B. Climb, lamb, dumb, tomb, comb, limb. Climb, lamb, dumb, tomb, comb, limb. Climb, lamb, dumb, tomb, comb, limb. Listening and speaking, understanding well. Form pairs and practice the dialogue. Continue the conversation with different situations. I'm sorry I didn't quite get you. That means I'm sorry I didn't quite understand you. Never mind, I will repeat it for you. I'm sorry I didn't quite get you. Never mind, I'll repeat it for you. I'm sorry I cannot help you. Never mind, I shall find somebody else. I'm sorry I cannot come to your house tomorrow. Never mind, we'll make it some other time. So these are the different situations that you have to practice with your family members or a friend or a sister or a brother, and practice the dialogue. Next one is language and grammar. Coming to countable and uncountable nouns. As the name suggests, countable is things that you can count and uncountable are things that you cannot count. Read the following. Common nouns are either countable or uncountable. Countable nouns are the names of things that can be counted. Example, cow, book, toy, dress. 4. Countable nouns have plural forms. They take a, an and many before them. For example, an apple, a boy, many cars. Uncountable nouns are the names of things that cannot be counted, like milk, water. But when milk is put in a bottle, it can be counted as bottles of milk. For example, milk, rice, bread, water. Uncountable nouns take much, little, a large amount of before them. Now coming to the exercise. Write C if the noun is countable and U if it is uncountable. Bread, uncountable as such. But if you have 10 loaves of bread, then it becomes countable. But you have to say 10 loaves of bread. But when you say generally bread, it is uncountable. It is just one loaf. Wheat, uncountable. You cannot count the grains of wheat. Bus, countable. Money, uncountable. If I give you a handful of money, it is uncountable. But when you count money, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, then it becomes countable. Juice, uncountable. One glass of, you can just take a lot of juice and say juice, it's uncountable. But when there are 4 glasses of juice, then it becomes 4 glasses of juice is counted as 4 glasses of juice. Table, table is countable. Apple, countable. Petrol. Petrol as a liquid form is uncountable. But when you count, when you say 1 liter of petrol, 2 liters of petrol, 3 liters of petrol, you can say it is countable. Oil, oil again is uncountable. But when you buy a bottle of 1 liter of oil or 2 liters or 3 liters, it becomes countable again. Milk is also uncountable. But when you buy a Milma packet of 500 grams, you say it is countable. That packet has the weight 500 grams. One packet weighs 500 grams. So if you buy 2 packets, 3 packets, then the inside liquid is milk. That is uncountable. But when it is in a sachet or a packet, then it becomes countable there. B. Fill in the blanks with the correct noun from the help box. Oranges and bananas are fruits. 2. She wrote her address on a piece of paper. 3. Please give me some water to drink. 4. There was too much furniture in the room. 5. Rice is my favorite cereal. C. Write A or an. 1. It follows the rule A-E-I-O-U. So you have to write an uncle. 2. A river. 3. A hour. 4. An architect. 5. A taxi. 6. A room. Read the following sentence. Rahul is excited. It is in the present tense because you say Rahul is excited. If I say Rahul was excited, it will be in the past tense. Now read this sentence. Rahul was excited. This sentence tells us that Rahul was excited some time ago. Hence, this sentence is in the present tense. Tense means time. So, present tense and past tense. Past tense is just over. Present is right now. It's happening right now. In these sentences, replace is, am, are with was, were and change the present tense into past tense. In short, you've got the sentence in present tense. You have to write it in past tense. She is reading a book. So to make it past tense, it becomes she was reading a book. 2. They are asking for food. They were asking for food. Are is a plural form, so you use were as the plural past form. Third one. Ramu and Sita are in my house. Ramu and Sita are in my house. That is present tense. Past tense, were in my house. Fourth one, she is waiting for you. She was waiting for you. Fifth one, she is sitting but they are standing. Again, is becomes was. She was standing but she was sitting but they were standing. Sixth one, I am feeling hungry. I was feeling hungry is the past tense. Now coming to your writing practice. There are different kinds of teas available these days. List their names in your notebook and write a few lines about how they are grown and processed. Now this is an activity for you to do. You can write out the name of some of the teas that are available in the market, and you can just write a few lines on how they are grown and how they are processed. You can ask a person to help you in the house to either copy down some sentences from the internet about how the different kinds of variety of tea is grown and how they are processed. Next, values for life. Tea pickers do a lot of hard work in tea plantations. As a result, we get the best tea to drink. How important is it to reward, appreciate them for their hard work? Yes, they should be paid the correct money for their labor. That is how we can reward them and not just, exploit them. Do you follow a proper plan to carry out and finish any task? Yes, of course. Next, HOTS. If you get a chance to visit a tea factory, what would you like to know? Yes, if you get a chance to visit a tea factory when you go to the Nilgiris, do try and find out how the tea leaves are processed in the factory and finally brought out into the packets. Activity. Find out whether coffee needs the same type of climate as tea does. Next time you go to a shop, look at the different packets of tea on display. Find out where different kinds of tea varieties are grown. So this is activity for you. Just try to get additional information on the different types of teas grown in India. It's just for your reading, so that you can be updated and know that there are different forms of tea like Brook Bond, Kannan Devan, red leaf, or Assam tea, Darjeeling tea. There are so many types of teas available. So just take a little time and spend a little time on reading about the different type of teas available in the market. Thank you.